Go, 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 go! Better get one more. Nice.
What is happening, people? It is Brian Alsruhe, NEVERsate.com, and since I'm standing in front of the whiteboard, that means we're gonna be talking about programming, which means that I'm gonna take a couple seconds here and wait for you to grab a pen and paper. No, bro, I totally got it. I remember it all. No, you won't. Dude, I wrote the thing and I still need this to follow along. Grab a piece of paper and a pencil. But this is an exciting program because it combines elements of conjugate, linear, rotating percentages, DUP. It has the best of all of those that, as I've run them and written them for other people, I take what's useful and I discard what's not, so this program is kind of a conglomerate of all those things pushed into each other. Now, another cool thing about it, this is actually the program they're going to be releasing with the ebook, so you guys are the test dummies. I've tested it on the people at my gym already, but I did want to get a lot of runs-throughs just to make sure that I can put out the best program possible. So if you guys do decide to buy one of these programs and you guys have terrific results with it, you guys keep track, maybe some before-after photos, some testimonials, things like that, you guys may or may not make it in the book if it is impressive enough. So if you guys do want to be part of the book, then definitely pick up one of these programs, do an awesome job, and I will try to include you. Yay! But with that said, I will tell you it is absolutely brutal. It is good for beginners, for intermediate, for advanced lifters, because it's all self-regulated. So you're gonna be working up and you decide how heavy you're going to go that day, and then your percentage work is based off of that top set number. So it doesn't matter whether you've been lifting for 3 months or 23 years, you're still gonna be able to get something out of this program. However, with that said, it is brutally hard. If you guys have ever bought a program for me or talked to somebody who's bought a program for me or read reviews online of some of my programs, they are all absolutely brutal unless you're doing it wrong. And this one is absolutely no different. This one is going to be incredibly brutal. It doesn't matter what level you're at, but you do need a hard mindset. I do not write programs for the average person. I write programs for the individual who has goals, who has an idea in mind where they want to be. It's not for the person who's like, yeah, I want to gain a little bit of mass and drop some body fat and get a little stronger. That is not who I write programs for. I write programs for people with goals. It doesn't mean that you need to be competing. It just means that you need to be serious, have intention when you get in the gym, because you will not survive one of these programs without it. But if we're being completely honest with each other, that's the main reason why people don't make significant progress in the gym, because 99% of people are not willing to put in the time, the effort, or the courage to get something like this done. If you are and you're in that boat, then I'm encouraging you to pick up this program or just follow the free version and see what happens, because I can guarantee you, you will be a different person standing on the other end of it. And finally, before we get in the actual meat and potatoes of the program, I just want to say this is my 4th free program that I've released online. So if this does not fit your needs or your training modality or what you were interested in doing, I have plenty of other free videos giving away free programs, so you should go check those out if you are interested. For those of you who have checked those out, guys, this is how I make all my money. My gym does not make money. This is how I make my money. So if you guys have a little bit of extra cash laying around and you want the convenience of someone setting up your program who's been there, done that, spent plenty of time on this stuff, has literally thousands of reps of what has worked, what has not worked, then I would like to take your money. That would be nice. But I've also been in the same boat as many of you and did not have the money to buy a personalized program, so that's why I put out these free ones. Hopefully you guys can use this. All right, so now we're gonna get into the actual program. So this program is called the Darkhorse program because I think that sounds cool, and it has a habit of making strength and PRs kind of show up when you didn't expect them, so that's why I went Darkhorse. Plus, like I said, it sounds cool. To me, at least. But with this program, you're gonna have actual 9 weeks of work, 1 week of deload, 2 weeks of testing to make it a 12-week program in total. Now, you are going to need 2 weeks of testing because of how this is set up and how brutal your intensities are going to be throughout the program. You're going to need 2 weeks of testing because you're probably not gonna hit a bench PR and an overhead press PR in the same week, or a deadlift and a squat in each week. So you guys are gonna see throughout this entire program, those two things kind of bounce off each other throughout the entire time. Now, this program is also designed for 4 times a week. It is not a necessity to do 4 times a week, but the way that this is gonna be laid out, you're not gonna be able to pull off 3 times a week. You're gonna have to go with 4 if you are doing the free version. If you guys do want me to set up a 3-day program for you, I am capable of doing that, but that's gonna be more of a personalized type of thing. So email me. And then finally, like I mentioned, you're gonna have 3 different intensities, which is part of what makes this program so much fun, because every single time that you walk in, you're gonna pick a variation, and then you're gonna go for a 5-rep max, a 3-rep max, or a run rep max. So there is no telling where you're going to be by the end of the day. If you're feeling really good, you might be breaking actual PRs. If you are not feeling very good, then it's gonna show in that, and the rest of your workout is going to become twisted to fit how you're doing that day. Which should hopefully stop a lot of the random emails to me, as well as a lot of the questions you guys might have, because this is self-regulating. Now, all 3 of those intensities are going to be rotating upon themselves, very much like a rotating percentage type program, so that during the week you are not going for a 1 rep max, 1 rep max, 1 rep max, 3 rep max. It all rotates on itself so that you are getting a heavy day, a medium day, a light day throughout the month, throughout each wave. It's all gonna make sense, I promise. Just give me a little bit of time, guy. Come on, man. Which brings us to what you're gonna be doing each and every single day. So when you walk into the gym on any given day, this is what your day is gonna consist of. You're gonna have an optional conditioning session, which you can throw in at the beginning of your workout if you're similar to me and you like to have your muscles primed for the work that they're about to do, and this conditioning is going to be set up for that. It's going to, if you're doing squats that day, you're not gonna be doing upper body conditioning. It's going to be complementary to the work that you're doing that day. You can throw it at the beginning or at the end, or you can toss it out all together. If it's not part of your goals, it does not matter to me, but that's about 10 minutes right there. Then you're gonna move on to your strength, which is your maximum effort work. Now, all this is going to be based off variations, because the idea of conjugate is that you work the variations during the actual work of the program, the dynamic stuff, you drop back and you use your competition grip and stance, but for your maximum effort stuff, you're mainly focused on the weak points of your lift. So if you get stuck at lockout of your deadlift, then one of your variations for your deadlift day should be like a rack pull or something along those lines. You want to innately choose exercises that are going to address your weak points so that it works like magic. By the time you're at the end of the program, all your weak points are brought up and all of your PRs go up. It works like absolute magic. There's nothing that I've run that works better than something similar to this. And then we move on to volume, which is actually gonna be 3 sets, but I'm gonna get into a little bit more detail about that once I get into the next slide, which is going to be an entire day example. But those 3 sets are gonna be based off your maximum effort set here. So for your maximum effort, your variation, you went for a 5 rep max, a 3 rep max, or a 1 rep max. These sets are gonna be based off of that top set. So if you are not having a good day, these sets are not gonna completely brutalize you. They're going to be appropriate for your top set of the day on your strength work. But then after that, you need to fall back for some dynamic work, which is always gonna be at the top of every minute for 10 minutes, where you're just doing some lighter speed work, working your competition grip, your competition cues, your competition stance, all those things, so you do not lose track of that. Lifting is definitely a perishable skill. It is not like riding a bike. You need to continually be getting in and working your squat, working your technique, working those things, or they will go away. Now, with that in mind, I had to do a little bit of writing there, but as you can see, each exercise is paired with another. So your deadlift is gonna pair with your squat, and your bench is gonna be paired with your overhead press. So that means that on your strength day, your maximum effort day, if you have deadlifts, you're gonna drop down for your dynamic work, and that is gonna be squats. If you have squats on this day, your dynamic work is gonna be your deadlifts. If you have bench this day, it's gonna be overhead press. If you have overhead press, it's gonna be bench. That should make sense. If that doesn't make sense, you should probably hit yourself in the head with a hammer. I was kidding about that hammer thing. I really didn't mean that, except for some of you. And then you move on to your assistance or your strongman work, which is gonna be afterwards. Now, the one thing that I will say on this program is this work alone is a lot of work, and it is going to be running you into the ground. Whenever you guys get to your assistance work, if it is no longer going to assist you because you are so fried, then you can't do it. Do not do it. The best thing you can do when you're in a hole is stop digging. And as always, your assistance work should address the weak points of your lifts, and you should really look at it more along the lines of what your body needs to be finished off. So a lot of people want to finish absolutely every single thing that is on the board, and I commend you. For most people, that is exactly what they should be doing. However, if you've been in the game for a little bit of time and you know that at your dynamic work, you are absolutely brutalized and you are done, and you have some heavy assistance coming up, lighten up the assistance. Just do what your body needs to be finished off. The assistance work is not what is going to make or break you. All of that happens up here. The assistance work is just kind of the icing on the cake. Not saying that's not important, not saying you don't need to do it, but I am saying if you are already shot from all of this, then don't do your assistance work, because it's just gonna dig you in a hole and it's gonna mess up your maximum effort day coming up later in the week. It's a lot of talking. But since recovery is gonna be such a massive part of this, I want you guys to try to keep between 24 and 48 hours between workouts. For that reason, I work out Monday night, Wednesday night, Friday night, and then Saturday morning. The Friday to Saturday is a little bit short. You guys could do Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, Sunday, whatever you gotta do to make this fit. But I try to keep between 24 and 48 hours between workouts just so I can be recovered as possible. All right, so now we're gonna step back and look at an average day. So just for this example, I use my overhead press day, and my variation for my maximum effort, my strength work, is gonna be the continental clean and press, and I have a 5 rep maximum, all right? So the day is gonna start out with about 10 minutes of hard metabolic conditioning. Now, this is exactly how we run the classes at my gym, and our classes at the gym are an hour 15, and we never ever go over. So it is completely possible to fit all this in. You're just not gonna be able to shoot stuff out on Instagram and text your girlfriend or do whatever you do normally during your sets. You're actually gonna have to work. But that 10 minutes of hard metabolic conditioning, like I mentioned earlier, should try to focus itself around the overhead press. So you might be doing something like animal walks or battle ropes or thrusters, something that is gonna get your shoulders primed for the work that's about to do. Like I said, that should take about 10 minutes from there. You move on to your strength. Now this is where the program is gonna vary a lot, because if you are a 900-pound deadlifter, this is going to take a little bit longer than if you are a 200-pound deadlifter. So basically, I give 30 minutes for our classes. That pretty much everyone, from the guys who are deadlifting 800 pounds to the girls who are deadlifting 100 pounds, everyone can get this done in about 30 minutes. So for my strength, I'm doing an actual clean and press, and as always, guys, because I'm always trying to be athletic, be a dangerous lifter, not just a guy who looks good and can't do anything, everything is done in giant sets, keep my body fat down, keep my metabolism up. So I always throw in the antagonistic muscle group prior to the main muscle mover, and then I do some sort of core variation, and then I do some sort of, again, some sort of conditioning at the end of each and every single attempt here that I'm going for my 5 rep max. So for example, for this giant set, I'd probably do something like weighted pull-ups, 4 sets of 5, just mimicking my main mover, to the main mover, which is actual continental clean and press, to dragon flags, for example, for the abs, and then medicine ball slams just as a keep your heart rate up, get 90 seconds of rest, make any notes down in your book that you need to, and get back after your next attempt. Do not waste all day on this. This can become an hour and a half if you allow it. You need to stay on the clock and you need to stay focused. Then, based off of whatever your top set was, you're gonna drop back and hit some volume sets using the same variation, same movement, same everything, right? So I'm gonna say that's gonna take about 15 minutes because you have three sets. It's gonna take you 5 minutes per set, is what it is. I keep these in giant set format as well, and a lot of times I just mimic this. So I'll still do my pull-ups, I'll still do my dragon flags, all those types of things during my volume sets. But your first set of your volume, I want to talk about the intensities really quickly, as you guys have seen in this box over here. If for your maximum effort, you went for a 5 rep max, when you drop back to volume, you're doing 10 reps at 80% of that top set that you got. That better make sense. If you do 3 reps, then you have 8 reps at 80%. And if you do 1 rep, you have 5 reps at 80%, all again of your top set. So it's not 80% of your true 1 rep max, it's 80% of whatever variation you chose up here in your top set. So like I said, if you were having an off day, the off day isn't going to continue to just destroy you throughout your entire program. It's going to catch back up to you here, where you're going to be able to get some work done, make the day worth it, make the day worth going in. But so for this, I was going for a 5 rep max. My first set is always going to be as many reps as possible, and I call that a strongman set, because in strongman you're always asked to do as many reps as possible in 60 seconds, and that's essentially what this first one is. Now I choose 80% for all of my stuff, because 80% of anything is heavy enough that if you're doing something wrong, it is going to tell you, and yet it is light enough that you shouldn't do a ton of things wrong. So 80% is kind of that magic number. That's why you see it so much, and it's also very easy when you're doing your own programming or you're looking at programming. It's easy to know exactly what you're doing there. You just need to remember what number of reps you're doing for the number of intensities. So your first set's gonna be as many reps as possible, and you are trying to go full out. So if your goal here, I'm doing a 5 rep max, which means 10 reps is my goal. As you can see down here for my next 2 sets, I'm looking for at least 10 reps here. I'm looking for probably somewhere between 12 and 15 as a goal, and then I'm gonna drop back and I'm gonna get these done as I can. If this destroys me completely and I need to break these up into smaller sets, that is completely fine. Just get all of the reps required for your volume. And then if that was enough work, now you have your dynamic effort work, which is the top every minute for 10 minutes. So only gonna take you 10 minutes. But basically what that means is just that every single time that second hand reaches the 12, you go. The faster you get it done, the more rest you get. The slower you move, the less rest you get. However, dynamic effort work is supposed to be explosive. It's supposed to be fast. So you're gonna wanna be moving on that, racing the clock. Now, your reps for this, or your intensity for this, is always gonna stay somewhere between 50 and 70%. It's just gonna continually build up as the wave goes on, and you'll see that as I lay out the whole month next. But it's not gonna be heavy. It's about band work. If you do not have bands, you're still able to do this. However, if you do have bands, that will make this 1,000 times more productive for actually seeing progress during the program. Now, it's very important to note that all your dynamic work is done with your competition grip, stance, cues, all the normal stuff. Because for this strength work, we're using variations focusing on your weak points. So if deadlift is what you're working on, you are not gonna see a traditional regular deadlift like you would in a competition until 12 weeks for maxing out. However, in the dynamic effort work, that is where you're gonna be rebuilding those things, where your technique, it's not gonna be heavy, so you should be doing everything perfectly, so that by the time that you get to testing week, you should be ready and fired and just prepared to break all those PRs. Just make sure that you're using your competition grip, stance, and cues for your dynamic effort work. That is all traditional stuff. That has nothing to do with variations. All your variations come during maximum effort time. And then finally, you have 10 or 20 minutes at the end to work your assistance or any strongman stuff, technique, medleys, things that you want to work on. But a lot of times with the variations, your strongman stuff kind of gets taken care of anyway. So on deadlift, you could do farmer's deadlift, you could do frame, you could do car deadlift, blah, 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 etc. On overhead press, you could do log, axle, whatever you want to do. You can do a lot of your strongman work here, so you need to do less of it down here during the assistance portion. But like I said before, guys, if the assistance isn't going to assist you anymore because you're so washed out from all this, then do not do it. It is not worth digging yourself into a hole further. Also remember that this 10 minutes of hard conditioning is optional. So basically what you're looking at is 30, 40, 55 plus 10 minutes, 65, 20. So you're looking at like an hour 15 to an hour 30 for this entire program, and you can get absolutely everything done. You will drop body fat, you'll get stronger, and you'll get bigger. You're welcome. Oh man. Wait here for 1 second. If you guys want to take a screenshot of this, get my hand out of there. All right, so now you guys have a really good idea of what a typical day looks like, how to lay out your maximum effort work, how to lay out your dynamic effort work, what to look for in assistance. You guys should have it all up to this point. What this is an actual full wave. Now, each wave is gonna be 3 weeks where it's gonna be repeating on itself. That's three-week waves, 9 total weeks. Your 10th week is gonna be your deload, then your 11th and your 12th week is gonna be your testing. But I actually gave you 4 weeks here so you guys can see how this all got laid out. Now, I like to start my weeks with deadlifts because I feel like that takes the most from me. So if I stick it at the end of the week, I typically don't do as well. So for this example, I have deadlifts, I have overhead press, I have squat, and I have bench on each one of these days. So each one of these is a day. Now, these are your weeks. You have week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4, so this is a given month. Now, inside of here, I have ST, that is for your strength work. V is for your volume work. D is for your dynamic effort work, and A is for your assistance work. So that's what you're seeing here the entire time. Now I'm just gonna lay down the intensity so you guys can have a better, easier way of laying it out if you're doing this on your own. So for your strength, your first week, you're going to be doing deadlift, you're going for a 3-rep max. On your overhead press, you're going for a 1-rep max squat, you're going 5-rep max bench, you're going for a 3-rep max. So again, you're at no point completely driving yourself into the ground. You always get a little bit of break. This is gonna be heavy, but it's not gonna be terrible. This is gonna be really rough. This is gonna be a little bit easier, a little bit of break, and then you're gonna be back there. And that goes on throughout the entire program, all 3 weeks, so that it never gets truly bad on itself. As you guys can see, your deadlift, week 1 is 3 reps, week 2 is 5 reps, week 1 is 1 rep, and then you're back up to 3 reps. So, the basic idea is that it completely rotates on itself, so you're never getting too burnt out at any given time. So on your strength work, if you have 3 reps, your volume is going to be 8, because like I explained in that intensity, you're gonna have 8 reps at 80% of your top set of your variation on your strength work. From there, you're gonna go down to dynamic. Now your dynamic's gonna stay the same all the way across. For week 1, you got 50%, week 2 is 55, week 3 is 60%, week 4 is 65%. And again, if you do have access to bands or chains, absolutely use them because they are completely underrated. There is nothing that has worked better for me than bands and chains as far as building explosiveness and breaking through sticking points. It is massively important. But if you do not have them, just keep to these straight percentages and you should be fine. But drop back to the volume real fast, guys. Remember, this is 8 reps of your top set there, 5 reps of your top set, 10 sets of your top set. It just, the reps change because of the amount of intensity. So if you get a 1-rep max, that's gonna be substantially heavier than it would be if it's a 5-rep max, and that's why those numbers change. But then when you come down to your assistance, again, you're just doing whatever needs to be done to finish your body off of your strongman, your work technique, medleys, whatever you're gonna be working on. But I also laid that out with a medium, light, heavy, medium type of scale. So H is heavy, medium is light, M is medium, L is light, and so on and so forth for all of your assistance. But this should lay out exactly what any given wave will look like. You should know what a day looks like, what the wave looks like. You should be able to put this together on your own. And now it's time for the shameless plug in this video. So guys, like I mentioned at the beginning, this is exactly how I make all my money. So if you guys, I know all of you are smart enough and capable enough to lay all this out on your own. There's no doubt in my mind that you guys can do it, but some of you do not have the time or some of you just don't want to. At which time, if you have a little bit of extra money laying around, you could give that to me, which would make me happy, and you get a bunch of PRs. Guys, I've been in this game an extremely long time. I've made just about every single mistake you can possibly make. Sometimes when you're headed out on a road trip, it's easier to get to your destination if you have a navigator who's been down that road before. It's just that simple. It's not about competence. It's not about what you can do or you can't do. I very well could probably fix my water heater if it broke, but most likely gonna call somebody because that's what they do every single day, so I know they're gonna do a better job than I would. It's gonna take them a lot less time, and I don't need to make mistakes and catch all of that flack off of that. Plus, if you break it down, it's only $1.66 a day, which is cheaper than a bad cup of coffee. So if you were going to ask me if I would be willing to make my coffee at home for 3 months and then get a bunch of PRs, I would probably take that instead of coffee. But that's me and my weird brain. Now this one in particular is the Darkhorse program, but if this does not fit your needs, I also write linear programs, conjugate, DUP, rotating percentage, power builder, all of those. I write all types of programs because I've tried all types of programs. I've tried them on the people in my gym. I know what works and what doesn't work. So if you guys are looking for something else, I can also help you out with that as well. But you need to email me first, guys. Make sure you email NEVERsate@gmail.com. Just say that you're interested in a program. I send you a bunch of questions. You send them back in a couple days. You have a program all for yourself. Or don't, I completely understand that as well, guys. But at least take advantage of one of the free programs I put out, whether it be this one, or one of the other 4, or the one on Alan Thrall's channel, or whatever the case may be. Definitely take advantage of a program because you should not be training if you're not following some type of program. Anyway, guys, there you go. Hopefully you guys have everything you need to build your own Darkhorse program. But again, if you guys do need a little bit of help or a little bit of convenience and got a little bit of extra money, you want to do it, just hit me up at NEVERsate@gmail.com. Oh, and the very last thing that I want to say, guys, and this is something that I never ever do, but my birthday is coming up next month, May 26th, and it would mean so much to me if I got to 100,000 subscribers. So if this was helpful to you and you guys enjoyed it, or you guys have used one of the other programs and it's worked for you, please share my channel. I'm just trying to get some subscribers, trying to get to that 100,000 mark. Once I get to that 100,000 mark, to be completely honest with you, I don't care anymore. I just want to be able to hit that goal because that's something I set for myself. So if you guys do have some friends that you think you might enjoy the channel, please share it with them. This is something that I don't do, and I think it is an absolute horrendous thing to do, to ask people to subscribe. However, I want that 100K. Hopefully by my birthday. But guys, I will be catching up with you later in the week, but until I do, go out, do something amazing in your lives, keep working hard, people, be nice to each other, follow a program, and I'll see you then.